Good day, everyone. Welcome to another learning session from Training Location. We are an authorized disc distributor for Wiley Publishing, as well as a channel partner with the Ken Blanchard Companies. My name is Bill Horstman, and I'll be your presenter today. Please stick with me to the end of this instructional video for a complimentary resource and one small request. What is your management style? What do you enjoy about management? As a manager, what drains your energy? If there were only a way in which we could use your DiSC style to provide help with your management priorities and preferences, well, there is a tool that helps you do that. In this article, we'll take a much closer look into the Everything DiSC Management Profile. This helps managers understand how they approach their work through their style and others' styles. As you guessed, it uses Everything DiSC as the engine. My goal here is to deepen your understanding of the management profile using specific results from an actual assessment. Just a note here, I want to add you may have seen my previous webinar introducing the management profile. However, we go a lot deeper and broader into an actual report with recommendations for our participant, whose name is Donna. Excuse me. How does DiSC support the management interaction? Maybe you've noticed that you have an easier time managing people who are driven to get results. Or you're more comfortable working with those who take an aggressive, bold approach than those who work at a steadier pace. Perhaps you relate best to people who are more direct than diplomatic. Well, the management profile creates the intersection between your style, others' styles, and your management priorities and preferences. You can improve the quality of your management experience by using DiSC to build more effective relationships. Now, the research validated management profile we're talking about today is intended for all managers and is designed to help managers understand their management style, help managers better understand their direct reports' respective styles, and help you effectively work with and influence your own manager, commonly called managing up, and provide tips and guidance for improving management effectiveness. As a reminder, I've always encouraged learners to maintain a couple important pieces of baseline knowledge. They are the Cornerstone Principles and the basic DiSC styles model. So first of the Cornerstone Principles we've discussed before, I'll go through them quickly here. All DiSC styles are equally valuable. Everyone is a unique blend of all DiSC styles. Your unique style is also influenced by other factors such as your life experiences, your education, and your maturity. And understanding yourself better is the first step to becoming more effective when working with others. Second is the basic DiSC style model. Now, a person's DiSC style is decided by the intersection of two dimensions of observable behaviors, including body language, tone of voice, expression, even word choice. Now, the vertical dimension is known as pace, or your outward activity level, and that's described as either fast-paced and outspoken or cautious and reflective. Now, the horizontal dimension is known as your agreeableness quotient. This means those who are less agreeable place a lower priority for cooperation and social harmony and are described as questioning and skeptical on the left end of this dimension. We refer to them as result focused. Those who are more agreeable place a higher priority on the cooperation and social harmony, and we describe them as accepting and warm on the right end of this dimension. We refer to them as people focused. Now, this is the key concept I want you to take with you from this lesson. It is the intersection between these two continua, which forms the four quadrants or basic styles of the DiSC model, and by which you identify a person's DiSC style. Okay, let's get into the basic report produced by Donna's responses. The first item is her personal map, which is in the upper right-hand corner of the slide. On that map is Donna's dot, which is specifically placed for her responses to the management profile. The report indicates Donna has a D or dominant style. Now, all the profiles begin with a very good summary of the DiSC and what the four quadrants mean in terms of basic styles. Then the profile provides several paragraphs of helpful information and context unique to your map. They discuss inclination and proximity of Donna's dot. Inclination is the distance away from the center, and proximity is the distance to a neighboring quadrant. Now, just a note about inclination and proximity. A dot positioned toward the outer edge of your map indicates a strong inclination toward the characteristics of that style. A dot located close to the center of the circle indicates a slight inclination toward the characteristics of that style. And also note the closer proximity of I beg your pardon, Donna's style toward the C quadrant. If she were any closer, she would shift to a DC style with D as her primary style and C as the secondary. Let's take a closer look at Donna's results. Now, Donna's dot tells a unique story. The report provides a full page of introductory, yet specific description. With Donna's D style in mind, here are some excerpts from that page of her report. Because you have a D style, you probably like to get things out the door quickly, emphasizing results over methodology. You may not realize a forceful approach can be stressful for the people you manage. And you have little patience for small talk and tend to create a sense of urgency for the people you manage, becoming energized under time pressure. And last, your competitive nature may be fueled by disagreements or conflict, and you don't have trouble speaking up when you see a problem. Now, in Donna's report, she'll notice that her style is indicated with shading. Shading is the area of your map where your style feels most comfortable or the comfort zone. I call this your comfy t-shirt. This is where you normally naturally reside. You'll notice that Donna's shading also touches the adjacent styles of the model, the I, the S, and the C. Remember the principle from earlier. Everyone is a unique blend of all DiSC styles. So let's address the words around the model. They are priorities. We'll discuss these further shortly. As we uncover more information about our participant, Donna, we see that her D style has the following three priorities of challenge, drive, action that are closest to her style. So now we have not only identified her D style traits from the previous slide, but we also know her management priorities. So back to that previous question, how does DiSC support management interaction? Well, let's look. What we know so far about Donna is in one picture having behavioral dimensions of fast-paced and outspoken, questioning and skeptical. And they include traits of the dominant style, which are direct, firm, strong-willed, forceful, and results-oriented, and management priorities, including challenge, drive, and action. What does all this mean? Well, the management profile pulls it all together into a customized action plan for Donna. Let's expand on those 8 priorities placed around the model and what they really mean. These priorities are unique to this management profile. In other words, they are the primary areas where people focus their energy depending on their DiSC style. Everyone has at least 3 priorities. Some have 4 to 5. Having more is no better or worse than having 3. Your management profile is unique to you and based on your results. Priorities simply help us understand how our style might be reflected in real life work scenarios. The important thing to remember is that when things get foggy, such as when stress or uncertainty appear, we seek the priorities associated with our style. Today, we'll see what management profile tells the participant Donna about her priorities, and what action plans can result. Breaking down further, we see 3 priorities assigned to each quadrant respectively. A first look, kind of an overview of the model, shows the following priorities identified with the 4 basic styles. The D or dominant include challenge, drive, and action, as we just saw. The I or influence include action, encouragement, and collaboration. The S or steady include collaboration, support, and reliability. And the C or conscientious include reliability, objectivity, and challenge. Now, this approach can at least provide a high level understanding of which basic style includes which 3 priorities. Now, one doesn't need to know anything about the DiSC before taking the management profile. All the profiles begin with a very good summary of the DiSC and what the 4 quadrants mean in terms of the basic styles. Then the profile provides several paragraphs of helpful information and context unique to Donna's D style to help her understand the nuances in her personal management profile report. Now I'll share some excerpts as we go through Donna's management report. The first criteria she'll see is, what do you enjoy about managing? Well, Donna's excerpt shows, like other people with a D style, you may enjoy that management allows you to take charge of situations and lead people. Now, this right here would be different for the I, the S, and the C. So let's continue with Donna's D style. We continue the management preferences by understanding what her style may enjoy about work, including she loves to implement ideas, having authority, promoting innovation, pushing others to fulfill their potential. Now, this is important because many people know their DiSC style, however, have never thought of it in terms of management preferences and priorities. Similarly, what drains Donna's energy as a manager? Here's an excerpt from Donna's. You hesitate to delegate tasks unless you are fully confident in other people. You avoid limiting your creative ideas due to organizational priorities, which may appear to you as roadblocks. Then we continue with Donna's D style and what aspects of her work may be stressful for her. Well, they include following strict rules or protocols, keeping opinions to herself, inefficiencies in the work environment, performing routine tasks, and tending to the emotional needs of others. Let's look at the section of the report titled Directing and Delegating. Now, all styles need to direct and delegate at some point. However, it comes naturally to Donna's D style. Different employees require different types of instruction and feedback. Here's one of the excerpts from Donna's report. Now, Donna, as a manager, directing and delegating is more complex than assigning to the nearest victim. How you direct and delegate is defined around your three priorities of action, drive, and challenge. Let's continue on with her next excerpt from, I'm going to choose the action priority to talk about here. Donna, you want to ramp up quickly and may not relay specifics. You tend to direct people by instilling a sense of urgency with clear expectations for results and may overlook the methodology. Let's look at how Donna's D style approaches directing and delegating. First, we start with her strengths. Holding people accountable for their actions, keeping people moving and on track, communicating the need for results. And here we see challenges to Donna's D approach to directing and delegating. Listening to people's concerns about assignments, considering the needs of others, highlighting the importance of routine tasks. So you can see some of these are just the inverse of what we just saw. So we just learned about Donna's natural style toward directing and delegating, but Donna doesn't manage in a vacuum. The report breaks down how to respond to each of the four basic styles, including D, which is also Donna. Here's where we begin to intersect with the DiSC style of employees managed by Donna. We structure this approach into three broad areas. How does the other style like to work, whether that's a D, I, S, or C? Potential problems when working together with another style, and how to be effective with the other style. And the report even expands this particular aspect into two parts. If that employee is less experienced at what they're doing, or if they are more experienced at what they're doing. Now, at the risk of taking too much time, I'm going to choose directing and delegating to the steady style. Here are some excerpts from Donna's actual report. I'm purposely choosing the S style here, though all four styles were included. I'm choosing the S because it is most different from Donna's D style on our basic DiSC model and requires the most stretch, if you will. The D and the S share neither pace nor agreeableness, meaning fast paced and questioning D compared to a cautious and people-oriented S. There's a note too. We're now having a D style with the priorities of challenge, drive, and action, who is managing an S style team member with priorities of reliability, support, and collaboration. So let's take a look at an excerpt of the first item. How does the S style like to work? Well, people with the S style are often accommodating and flexible. Because they may be hesitant to speak up or assert themselves, it may be difficult for you, Donna, to identify when they are ready for new responsibilities. 2, potential problems when working with the S style. Here's another excerpt. The S style prefers a methodical pace without interruptions, especially with sudden changes. They are cautious in their approach, and so on and so forth. And three, how to be effective with the S style. Here's more excerpts. The S style is most comfortable in a friendly, collaborative environment as part of a cooperative team. Given your D style, it may take a little more stretch or more effort to make the S feel valued and connected. If the S style employee is less experienced, give them clear step-by-step directions. Check in with them frequently and avoid overriding their decisions whenever possible. However, if your S-style employee is more experienced in the work, ask for their input, specify the result, and let them structure a plan. Ask directly what kind of support they need. The report continues with similar detail around managing each of the remaining styles, the D, the I, and the C, respectively. Now we look at motivation and Donna's style. It's always been said you can't motivate people, they must motivate themselves. You can, however, create an environment where they can find their own motivation. So, as with directing and delegating, motivation and the environment you create and build around your specific priorities of challenge, drive, and action. Here's an excerpt from Donna's challenge priority. Your willingness to challenge the status quo supports a culture of creativity. Your quest for original solutions to vexing problems encourages others to pick up on this behavior as they come up with their own ideas. And here's insight about the environment Donna creates. Because of your drive, others strive for tangible results. Because you emphasize results, people feel a sense of urgency. And your decisiveness can help people feel confident in the team's success. Then the report presents 5 motivational aspects of each of the 4 DiSC styles. I'm going to stay with S or steady here as our example. What are the motivational needs of the S style? What demotivates the S style? How does conflict affect the motivation of the S style? How can you, as the D manager, help create a motivating environment for the S style? What's the best way for you to recognize and reward the S style? So I want to go back and choose one of these and expand a little bit on so we can get a feel for the responses provided to Donna in her report. Let's go back to what demotivates the S style. Competitive environments, being rushed into quick decisions, being forced to improvise, chaos, etc. When it comes to developing others, again, your style isn't necessarily or automatically the most effective for all of DiSC styles. Now, the work provides a detailed explanation of your development style. And here's an excerpt from Donna's report. Your employee development style. You tend to strive hard for results and you may bring your people along for the ride. To you, development may be synonymous with achieving goals, pushing people to learn more and move faster as you drive towards success. How do you approach developing style of each employee, including your advantages and strengths? Well, motivating people, urging others to hone their skills, clear, straightforward feedback. Disadvantages might include pushing people at a pace that is just too fast for them, exhibiting impatience with learners, and overwhelming others with responsibilities. When it comes to developing others, again, your style isn't necessarily the best one. A detailed explanation is provided. Now, and we're going to talk about developing the style of each employee with S as our example. So we're going to look at areas where they have strong potential, and we look at obstacles and strategies in the development process. And since we're managing an S style in our example, we consider their 3 priorities of collaboration, support, and reliability. So let's take a look at the S's support priority. And these are directed to Donna. Think beyond results, productivity, and success when structuring their development. Gently inquire for their thoughts about their interests and skills, and show patience and understanding for their fears and concerns. One of the most important, but often overlooked aspects of management is sometimes called managing up. This refers to effectively working with and influencing your own manager. Sometimes this can be challenging. Based upon Donna's D style, this section helps her understand how her manager sees her through the D style priorities of challenge, drive, and action. Now, I want to share with you Donna's driven or drive priority and see how she might be perceived by her manager. It begins with a general description of Donna and is followed by a couple summary points that we see here. Donna, since you have a D style, excuse me, you probably come across as assertive and decisive, which is appreciated by your manager. Your manager may see you as overly insistent or demanding when you're pushing toward your goals. Some managers may believe that you're too focused on your own agenda. Then the report finishes with Donna's priorities of action and challenge, respectively. In my next slide, I'm about to share part of the report which talks about working with whatever blank style managers, D, I, S, or C. When I train the seminar, I often get the question, what if I don't know my manager's style? Very good, natural, appropriate question. Well, the easy answer is they haven't purchased a DiSC profile from me at training location. Reality, however, may dictate that you use the tool I've already shared in this session. This can be the real stumbling block to people, so I want to call specific attention to it here in order to keep the Donnas of the world from hitting an obstacle in their growth and development and management. Let's always consider the basic styles again before we dive deeper. This gets decided by the intersection of two dimensions. The first dimension is known as, remember, pace, described as either fast-paced and outspoken or cautious and reflective. The second dimension is known as your agreeableness quotient, and we divide that into, remember, questioning and skeptical or accepting and warm. Is again is the intersection of these two continua which form the four quadrants. Now back to Donna. Through interaction and observable behaviors, it is Donna's opinion, with the use of this tool, that her manager, who we'll call Sarah, is more cautious and reflective, and combined with accepting and warm. So you know what this makes your manager, and that's an S. So the S quadrant with the traits indicated. Now Donna can read what the report says about working with S-style managers and specifically apply that to Sarah. Now again, this is based on Donna's judgment of the behaviors that she observes. Beg your pardon, I think I just went back a slide. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead here again. I just wanted you to really see that. So time to finish up the management profile. The last step is to know the style of your manager so that you can better understand them and gain insights for working more effectively. The profile breaks this interaction down into three broad areas for each of the basic styles, D, I, S, and C, including their priorities and preferences, advocating and getting buy-in, and dealing with conflict. Let's look closer at their priorities and preferences. So managers like Sarah with the S style tend to be accommodating and dependable and prefer a calm and friendly environment. Unlike you, excuse me, unlike you, they are focused on people's feelings and relationships. Unlike you, they prefer to work collaboratively. And perhaps unlike you, they may dodge change for a steady and dependable setting. So I hope this interview's increased your awareness. I know that was a lot of information, but you just basically walked through every detail of the management profile. Whether your needs include employee engagement, conflict, management, team building, or simply communication, DiSC is a research-based, proven leading training solution impacting more than 8 million learners in over 130,000 organizations and through 14 languages in over 70 countries worldwide. It provides a quick, intuitive way to understand yourself and others, and it delivers immediate and lasting impact on people and on culture. And as always, the key to effectiveness through DiSC is understanding your and other styles, then using that knowledge for improved interaction. Here's our contact info. And before you go, I'd like to extend you a resource and a small request. I'd be happy to send you a sample PDF of the management profile, or if you'd like to discuss a complimentary live webinar introducing DiSC to your team, please use the email shown info@traininglocation.com. Be sure to check out our learning blog at traininglocation.com and click on blogs. And before you go, close your screen, please. We always appreciate your like, share, download, and of course, for continued learning, subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any new content. Thank you again, and goodbye till next time.